Bet on Bears fans, another edition of the Chicago Bears podcast coming your way. Pat the designer, Shea Norling in the building. We got a lot to get into on today's episode because ton of excitement and also some really, really bads. We got to talk about all that and more on today's episode. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. Shea, little upgrade in digs over there. Look at that. Nice.
I know. I
nice
hit
crib, bro.
hit an anytime touchdown parlay, and this is where I live.
just one. You had one for every single player that scored a touchdown this week. That was an impressive.
It was a 30-leg touchdown parlay.
$5 paid out $500,000.
Exactly.
We got to get into this game, man. This episode brought to you by Underdog. Make picks, win money. Shea, Chicago Bears win 47-42 in completely unorthodox fashion. I like to start the show off in a positive manner. Offensively, you put up 47 points, all offensive points, no defensive scores, no special teams touchdowns in there. Almost a defensive score. We got to talk about that as well. That was insane. But when I look at this Bears offense in this game, it looked like everything we've been hoping for. And I get it. It's against the Bengals, but winning in this manner, in that way, for the first time Chicago Bears have ever allowed 40-plus points and won the football game. They were 0-40 before that. Shea, what'd you see in that game?
I rewatched it this morning, so with fresh eyes, I got another look at it. I'm going to start with the bad, and people are going to get mad, but stay with me because I'm going to be very complimentary. I thought it was kind of a tale of two halves. The first half, the running game worked the whole time. The running game was outstanding yesterday. We'll get to that in a minute. But the first half, I thought Caleb played bad, might be too harsh. I thought he played not good. It was a lot of ejecting early pockets, and I'm specifically talking through the air. I actually really liked in the first half that he used his legs more and was more willing to run the football himself. But I thought he passed up on easy checkdowns, trying to hit the home runs. There were a couple really inaccurate passes. The throw to Cole Kmet that got him hurt was horrible. It was kind of classic Caleb. You're moving around, trying to create, do what you do. And I thought he got away from himself a little bit in the first half, and he got away from the structure of the offense. And you've come into halftime and you're feeling bad because you're down and you felt like you left some points on the field. Second half was a different story. And I thought the opening drive said it all. That first drive in the second half, he came out, hitting Monangai in the flats, going to his checkdowns, taking the easy stuff, and he built up a rhythm, and it allowed him to be nails. In the fourth quarter, I thought Caleb was outstanding. The throw to Colston Loveland at the end of the game was spectacular. Threaded a needle, ripped the ball, made a decisive play. I thought second half Caleb through the air was some of the best offense I've seen him play in Ben Johnson's offense, where he was on time, he was playing within the structure, he was taking what was given to him, which was important. And I know a lot of people out there are going to like, oh, but it's the Bengals defense. How much can we really take away from this? I've watched the Bears beat bad defenses. What they did yesterday, they beat the brakes off of a bad defense. That was dominant. And they've beaten bad defenses before. I saw Mark Potash tweet this. It's the first time in the Super Bowl era that the Bears had 5 drives of 70-plus yards. They were so good in the second half of that game. So it started from more of this Caleb, and it became like, I don't know what happened at halftime, but I feel like a switch flipped on, and he's like, this is what, like the meme, the TikTok, I understand it now. I felt like second half Caleb was like, I understand the offense, and it was great. I want to see that again. That's what I need to see moving forward. I saw it at the end of the game, and it was spectacular.
Yeah, and I think you're looking for different things in the second half. I think you hit the nail on the head. In first half, I think he was looking for a lot downfield. I think Ben probably came in with a game plan of, hey, there's a lot of explosive plays out there. Look for them. This is an opportunity, and he said it coming into the game, right? This is an opportunity where if you get the ball in the hand of guys at 10 yards, that could turn into a 20-yard, 30-yard play. We saw that time and time again. Caleb Williams, again now, I think the Bears are back to leading the NFL in explosive plays of 20 yards or more after what we saw yesterday. And to me, Shea, like yesterday was the reason you draft Caleb Williams. And I know that like when we're watching game in, game out, we're going game by game, you say this game was good, this game was bad. I don't know if this is the guy when you were doing this and this and that. Yesterday was a game not that we haven't seen before, because now Caleb Williams tied for second in the NFL in comeback wins, fourth quarter comeback wins since 2024. He's got 5. Unfortunately, he's had to do it that much in a few of those games because of some miscues from the rest of the team, and this season a little bit from him in the first half as well, similar to this. But when you zoom out right now, you've got a passing offense that is 10th in the NFL, a top 10 offense, and I agree with you. I don't think that Caleb Williams has figured it all the way out. I truly think that understanding this system will take him to a different level when he understands it 110%. We probably won't be there this season. We'll probably be, 80, 90% by the end of this year. But when you just know, okay, on this play, this is where my check down is going to be. It's not about spinning out and trying to find that guy. It's truly just about set hut. It's not there. I'm going to throw to a spot because maybe I think, especially yesterday, Kyle Monanga's 5'9", 5'8". You probably couldn't see him a couple of times there over behind the offensive line. Knowing that this is where he's going to be, get the ball to the spot, I think that's going to help him tremendously. But yesterday, to me, was a stamp in my mind of two things. Number one, it was the stamp that Caleb Williams is the quarterback for this team. Whether he's the best quarterback out of that draft, that will not be seen yet. But for this Chicago Bears team, I feel like I left that game going, that's why you draft that guy number one. When the moment was biggest, it didn't feel – my biggest concern, I don't know if you were like me, Shea, my biggest concern when the moment was biggest was Cairo Santos is going to miss the field goal.
I felt that. I definitely felt that.
It wasn't that Caleb wasn't going to put us in position to score.
I know. Dude, we'll get to the special team stuff, but we're done here with Cairo Santos. Honestly, this is Pat, you know me. I don't care about being right or wrong.
Yeah.
This one I wanted to be right about because I was demonized so much by people we work with for even offering the opinion that Cairo Santos cannot be your kicker in Big 2025. And now everyone has reached the same conclusion. Yeah. We're done here. It is what it is on that front. I did have the feeling of you'll get down and Cairo's going to miss the field goal. And then they scored. And I'm like, oh shit, Hail Mary. We're doing this again. Both
with how the defense played, understandable.
Both things. No, but you look at even the nerd metrics, dude, they've been super respective of what the offense was yesterday, and that hasn't always been true. Yeah. There's been games where we felt like Caleb played okay. The Washington game I'll hold up as an example, and Washington doesn't have a great defense, and you felt like Caleb played well enough, and then you look at PFF and they go, he was actually the worst quarterback in the entire league. He was even worse than Justin Fields, putting on one of the worst performances ever. And you're like, well, that just doesn't add up.
Yeah.
But this week I'm looking at the EPA rankings. Caleb, second in total EPA for the week among all quarterbacks. How about running backs? You know who was number one? Kyle Monangai. And I think there's a commitment to Ben Johnson's offense. There's a commitment to the block no rock thing where this commitment to the running scheme has worked. And everybody now has heard the message of we have to be physical. We have to have the intensity. We got to block. The scheme's been outstanding. Those pitch plays, right? That play works every time they run it, and it is beautiful. Joe Tooney's been a monster. I thought the offensive line yesterday was great. Again, Bengals tax, but it was so dominant that I can't even sit here and say, well, you did it to a bad defense. You destroyed a bad defense, and that's what good offenses do.
And you had to overcome. It's not you destroyed a bad defense and you walked away with this. It was you destroyed a bad defense and you had to go into a pressure-filled situation where you had to go in there and find a way to put up 47 points, and you needed every single one of them when you thought you were sitting comfortable, 41-27 by the end of that game. To me, seeing Caleb be able to go in there in that moment, that's the kind of quarterback that I want time and time again. And it's why, to me, I am convinced that he's the right guy for this team. Is he the best QB in that draft? We'll see. Drake May looks pretty good right now, and that may be a conversation that we have down the line. But at a minimum, it doesn't feel like he's the bottom five. It feels like you've got one of those guys. And I keep saying this, and he hasn't figured it out yet. And in that, I also come away from this game, and we've said it before, but Shea, when you look at the numbers overall, my God, Ben Johnson's the right guy. Everything that we can go after Ryan Poles on with the additions to this defense and some of the guys that he's kept on this roster, some of the guys it took him too long to move on from, or some of the draft choices you made in this year's draft, You bought yourself so much time by getting this guy right now with a team that hasn't figured it out. You are third in the NFL in rushing yards with 1,155. The run game has not been consistent yet, so that's insane. You are third in yards per game right now, 378.4. You are sixth in points per game right now, 26.9. You are seventh in total yards per game, 3,027. And you are 10th, as I said before, in passing yards per game, 1,872. And it doesn't feel like you're done getting better. It doesn't feel like you have figured this out. He's winning games on top of that. When he did this with Detroit, they were not winning games at the beginning of the season. Now, you've caught some breaks. Things are a little different. But I'll say this. Your average head coaches don't lose you games. They don't win you games. They call the game well enough for your talent to do what they do. Whatever talent you have, that's what you're going to see on the field.
Yeah.
Good head coaches win you games. Ben Johnson utilizing his timeouts the way he did at the end of that game, dog.
Yeah, great.
Helped you win that football game yesterday.
Yeah, you know I love him, and he's the guy I always wanted. He's doing exactly what I expected. He's building his offense, and it's taking its time. The quarterback front, look, I've been as critical as anybody of Caleb, and that's not lost on me, and I do think I've been fair. Whatever anyone else thinks, I believe I've been fairly critical of the quarterback. What I would just say on the comparison front, I've never brought up the Drake May thing as a Caleb sucks type of narrative. It's more of why I am so hard on him. Where other people have said, new coach, new play caller, he's got to get used to this, it needs some time. And all I've ever said was, you can say the same stuff for May, and he has a worse huddle, and he hasn't needed time.
Yeah.
That's not me saying I wish I had May or I don't believe in Caleb. It's just Caleb, to me, has to be the reason this works. He has to answer all the questions.
Yeah.
And yesterday was the start of that. So it doesn't ever matter if Caleb is better than Drake May, if Caleb's as good as Drake May. It doesn't ever matter. What matters is that he's the right quarterback for the Bears. And yesterday was the first step in starting to see that.
Yeah, no, it feels like you're truly starting to put this thing together, and it's going to be scary when this team figures out. And when you add all the pieces that you want for this team overall, and might have to do some piece adding here as we move forward. But before we do, we appreciate you guys tuning in, showing love. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. Got to try and make the people some money yet again. Shea Norling, as this episode brought to you by Underdog. Make picks, win money.
Jacoby Brissett higher. Jacoby Brissett higher. Whatever the number is. Jacoby Brissett higher. Passing yards. Whatever the number is. Higher.
250.5.
Higher. Jacoby Brissett higher.
Jacoby Brissett higher on that. Is there a Marvin Harrison play in there? Marvin Harrison receiving yards higher or lower?
Let's do catches. What's the catches
number?
Ooh,
let's take a look at the catches. 4.5 receptions.
I
actually might go lower.
Yeah, I was like,
they don't like Marvin Harrison. I don't understand it.
Can we get here we go. Can we get a Trey McBride receptions over?
Let's
probably
take
like
a look.
7.5.
Let's take a look here. Let's see. Where's McBride? Trey McBride, we can get a reception, 6.5 receptions higher.
Over.
You
higher.
like that?
Higher.
All right, let's go higher on that. And let's throw one more in there. Let's get a Dallas one in there. You messing with anything Dak tonight? You like a Javonte Williams anytime touchdown?
I would go back to the well on Dallas. One of my favorite things to do. CeeDee Lamb receptions higher.
6.5 receptions higher. CeeDee Lamb. There it is, ladies and gentlemen, your underdog play for Monday Night Football. Make sure that you guys download the app today. Sign up with the promo code CBP to score $100 in bonus entries when you play your first $5. That's promo code CBP. Underdog, make picks, win money. EOQ, the disclaimer. Must be 18 years or older, 19 or older in Alabama and Nebraska, 19 or older in Colorado for some games, 21 or over in Arizona, Massachusetts, and Virginia, and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play and get terms _DFS_.html for details. Offer not valid in Maryland, Michigan, New Jersey, New York, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. In New York, call the 24/7 Hope line at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. Welcome back into the Chicago Bears podcast. Pat the designer, Shea Norling in the building. Shea from his mansion atop
the
Chicago mountain right now as the Bears A chalet. Look at this guy, sophisticated. As Bears 5-3 right now, competitive in the NFC North. Literally everybody except for the Packers with that stupid freaking tie. I hate that tie so much. It's the bane of my existence right now. Anyway, as we continue through, listen, the offense was phenomenal. I thought that was the best offensive day we've seen. Probably didn't talk enough about Kyle Monangai and what we saw yesterday. I mean, he was outstanding. Welcome to the league, young man. The Mary of the run and pass finally happened. And I think a lot of what we talk about with Caleb Williams is because of the run game that you saw with Kyle Monangai. So it is not to not speak about him, but we know what a lot of people are going to be focused on today. The problems that led to you losing this game, almost losing this game there, Shea, Norling, special teams and defense. Where do you want to start with this one?
I mean, look, the defense was terrible. We can get to the reasons why. But the special team side of it is beyond, like, it's not just that you were terrible. It's totally inexcusable. It's beyond bad. It's Richard Hightower might be the single worst special teams coordinator ever born. Like I've never seen a special teams performance look that way. That was awful. Yeah. I don't know how that even happens. And it's a guy who's been here through a couple regimes. He was the one holdover from last year's staff because there was a belief in him. I imagine he's a part of keeping Cairo Santos around, but it's just comprehensively, outside of one Tory Taylor punt, which was great, the 70-yarder, everything else was just awful. Opening play, you get a kick return. The second kickoff gets run to the 50-yard line. You've got a missed field goal, a terrible missed field goal, and then a blocked field goal because your kicker's no good, and you, for whatever reason, cannot protect the interior of a field goal formation. And I'm just like, special teams going to lose you the game. Yeah. When you have special teams that awful that we're looking at that being the reason you lose, that can't happen. I can have the defense be bad. I know what it is. I said before the game with Tyler Aki, I said to him, when the Bears are not getting takeaways, I don't think they're a very good defense. We saw that against Cincinnati. I expected that against Cincinnati. I know, but
got 2 takeaways.
Dude, they got gutted, and we can talk about it in a minute because I don't know that it's going to change. I think it's kind of who they are, and we'll get to why. But the special teams side, I don't know how you replace a special teams coordinator in season, but if it's possible, I would load Richard Hightower into a t-shirt cannon and fire him right out of the building. Like, you can't be here anymore, man.
The worst part about what we saw yesterday is, Shea, I feel like that is the norm for what we've seen this season, but you've had the big plays that have won you the games, right? Jake Moody comes in and he has, in fact, won you the game. Like, in fact, one game, he literally won you the game. Yeah. I think he had four field goals in that game and ends up getting the game-winning field goal in that is that the Raiders game or is that the
No, it was the Commanders game. Yeah,
Commanders game, right?
The field goal block in the Raider game.
The field goal block in the Raider game. Those big moments that have you felt all day like, yo, like this is not good. And then there's a big moment where you go, okay, but they kind of locked in when you needed them to.
No, but
but all season we talked about big returns. We've talked about kicker controversy, I guess, like missed kicks. Like yesterday was the first day when Cairo missed that kick, because my thing has been, I haven't seen Jake Moody make a kick that Cairo hasn't. And maybe that's because the Bears weren't attempting it. They weren't looking to go out there and take, 55-yarders. Sure. But I think that is in the conversation. When you can't send Cairo out there in certain moments, you got to count that as a miss when Tory Taylor's punting on a 57-yard field goal that you don't feel confident to send him out there on. You got to count that as a miss when you've got Jake Moody sitting on the practice squad where, I mean, that one kick versus the Saints that comes up short, I go, listen, I don't know if Moody makes it because the accuracy issues with him from 50-plus are there. It's one of the reasons he was cut. But I know it wouldn't have been short. That's shortest, if you're gonna miss long.
That's the thing. And like now, once you're inside of 50 and you're missing wide, and then you're getting stuff blocked because you got a bad trajectory and you can't protect the formation. Like, Pat, yesterday, you bring up a couple loud, really successful plays for the special teams.
Yeah.
Yesterday was so bad, it wipes it all away. Yesterday was such a bad performance that it
opening kickoff run back. I mean, missed field goals. And then Daniel Hardy, listen, he's doing his job. He's supposed to be the guy making the lead block there, but the awareness was not existent. It's unacceptable.
That is a performance that can get you fired. And if I were Richard Hightower, I'd be looking over my shoulder because I haven't seen a unit comprehensively play that badly all year. That is probably the single worst performance from any unit in the NFL that I have watched all season. Bears special teams yesterday. And you know what's great is because of Caleb and because of Ben Johnson and because of Kyle Monangai and because of your offensive line, it didn't matter. And because of Colston Loveland, like you wiped it away. You survived and you advanced. But boy, would I be nervous if I were Richard Hightower.
I love that my husband's so handy. He leaves more money for the important stuff. Whoa. Gosh darn it, Steve.
Oh, don't be like Steve. Call Avondale Roofing. DIY is for Pinterest, not your roof.
Now, the defensive side's a different story because there's two things happening. One, you can't guard anybody. That's just the nature of you're really banged up. You don't have Jalen Johnson, obviously. You're deeply hurt in the secondary to the point you had to go get C.J. Gardner-Johnson. Tyreek Stevenson's getting cooked. Nashawn Wright can't play. Like, the back end of this defense is just very leaky. But the ultimate problem to me is Joe Flacco gets to sit back there and cook breakfast for the most part. And that is not a health issue. That is, you are playing edge rusher roulette with Austin Booker and Dio Dangbo in year 4 of your general manager. And I'll bring this up again. Like, it is Ryan Pohl's fault. It is Ryan Pohl's problem. It has to get fixed. And I'm not going to sit here and say that means you go light a first-round pick or 2 first-round picks on fire and go get Max Crosby or go get Myles Garrett or go get Bradley Chubb, which at that point you're talking not even a first.
Yeah.
But I'm making the point, like, I don't buy really that they're in position to start lighting draft picks on fire to go get somebody at the deadline. Certainly not the Jalen Phillips trade. He's going to be a free agent. You're not lighting a 3rd round pick on fire to pick up a will-be free agent.
Yeah, no, you can do that when you might go back to the Super Bowl.
But it's just, this has to be addressed. And it's like, I'm going to keep saying it, and it's not going to change. I don't think it's going to change this season. But priority number 1 for me next offseason, 1, you got to find a left tackle. And 2, you got to fix the defensive line. That's 1A, 1B, whatever priority you want to assign, but that is your offseason. Yeah. Defensive line and left tackle. The rest is good.
And it's so much tougher when you look, and I know people don't, let's bury our head in the sand and act like it didn't happen. You let Jalen Carter and you let Jared Verse go past you.
I know.
And not that you let them go. Listen, I love Rome. I think that Rome has a bright future. I think that he's on a trajectory that's going to help. Got to catch some of those tough passes.
Yeah, it'd be nice if he'd start catching the ball.
That's top 10. But usually year 3 is when you see wide receivers explode. So I'm okay, right, with him figuring that out. New offense as well for him as well. But it is very difficult when you watch this defensive line and you see Jalen Carter being an absolute force on the other side. And you see Jared Verse continuing to just throw human beings out of his way, and you go, well, there's your answer. And your flip to that was Gervon Dexter, who I asked Jericho last week, and I think we got to ask the question, moving forward, right? Not to say, is he bad? I don't think he's bad. But has he plateaued? He feels very similar to the player that we saw last year.
The reality is you don't have an impact player up front on your defensive line.
No.
You just don't.
And the one that maybe is that did make a play the first opportunity he got, and probably as a pure pass rusher, in Austin Booker, your defensive coordinator doesn't really want to throw him out there a ton. Right. So you kind of got to figure out what he even is on this team.
Yeah, it's got to get fixed however they want to address it. And if they do decide to trade and get a guy this year, then I hope it works out and you don't end up with another Montez Sweat situation on your hands. Because next year I do think there's an opportunity to strike. You got an out in Montez Sweat's contract. You obviously have the ability to draft guys, but there has to be an honest commitment to building a defensive line, or it's never going to matter. Like, I get that the secondary's hurt and you're going up against arguably the best receiving core in the league, That doesn't mean that 41-year-old Joe Flacco with a lamb chop for a right shoulder should throw for fucking 500 yards.
Yeah.
Like that just, I don't care how depleted your secondary is. You should never have sprained AC joint geriatric throwing for 480 on you. You got to affect the quarterback. And that's really what it's going to be.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. And listen, I actually think Montez is probably playing better. Is he playing worth the contract? I mean, He's had 3 games in a row where he's gotten a sack. He's had 3 games where he's created pressure, but is he playing worth the contract? You're paying him as a guy who is in himself a difference maker. And I get it. You need other difference makers on the line for that to stand out. I think it's the same thing as when Khalil Mack was here versus when he goes to the Chargers. But the thing was, Khalil Mack still was pretty effective. You could still pencil him in for 8 to 9 sacks a year. We just haven't seen that from Montez. Montez having a better stretch now. I think he's been much better in the run game. And I think this defensive line as a whole has been better in the run game. But in the passing game, you're allowing quarterbacks to hang back there. Joe Flacco hung 470 on you. And I'm sorry, it doesn't matter if I see a lot of people talking about go get Woolen from Seattle, and it may not even cost you that much. And I'm just like, it doesn't. You could have Revis and Prime back there. If there's no pressure up front, they can't cover for 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Like you're leaving these guys on an island. I think that's the thing for me where, you couldn't get pressure, Shea, with an offensive line that's not very good. Like, I know they've played better under Joe Flacco. They're still not very good.
They also haven't played better under Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco's just intentionally taking fewer hits. And I know he
gets the ball out much faster.
Yeah, but part of that is he knows how old he is. He knows he's probably fragile. And it's like, you're not hitting me. I'm 40 years old, fellas. You're not hitting me. Like, I'm going to dirt this ball or I'm going to get it out immediately. It's not a case of the offensive line playing better. It's a case of a quarterback who's unwilling to take hits. And it's just, for me, it's not even like an unwillingness to take hits yesterday against the Bears. It's an unbothered aspect where he's just sitting there comfortably. That is what it's been for 3 years under Ryan Poles, and it hasn't been addressed, and it is his job to fix it. It is his problem to fix, and it is his fault that it is still a problem. So do
you think we're dealing with these are Flus's pieces in Dennis Allen's defense? With how bad it was yesterday is what I'm, because I mean, like, yesterday was the worst it has been. They have been better than this. Yesterday is the blemish on this defense.
I would just say, like, it's a Dennis Allen defense that needs a nickel corner who can be impactful, and Kyler Gordon's hurt. Like, if you had capable pass rushers,
decent day for CJ though.
Yeah, right. But if you had capable pass rushers up front, you wouldn't need a nickel so badly to generate pressure. But without it, I just think it becomes so much more difficult because you have no ability to generate pressure rushing 4, none. So if that's the way it's going to be, well, then you're looking at getting cooked by quarterbacks like Joe Flacco, who will get rid of the ball quickly and know where your hot reads are. Yeah, they'll just deliver it. So people can be mad about the secondary. I'm not really. I know what it is. It's compromised, and they were going up against great receivers. I'm mad about the defensive line because it's been 3 years of this. Yeah. And I've been begging it to be better for 3 years, and it's gone completely unaddressed. So again, I will say it again, that you have to do something about it. Whether it's tomorrow at the deadline or in the offseason, it has to get fixed.
Yeah, no, 100%. We'll see what this Bears team is able to do moving forward. Let us know how you guys feel in the comments below. We'll be talking about this all week. I mean, there's still so much meat on the bone that we didn't get to in today's game. Got to talk a ton about what Kyle Monangai could be for this team. Got to talk a ton about was this Colston Loveland's actual breakout game here. And, of course, continuing to talk about this offense as a whole. So we'll do that throughout the week. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. Ladies and gentlemen, for Shea Norling, it's your boy Pat the Designer. Back at it again. Y'all stay safe out there, Chicago. Bears 5-3 in the division. Take that. Oh, no, that felt wrong. Figure it out or fall back.
Cap the Designer.